I'll just look to you. Yes, demo. Okay, if whoever is.
Tonight,
as Jews around the world
are haunted by the melody,
Kol
Nidre.
I am haunted by my heart.
and what it carries,
Who has hurt me?
whom have I hurt?
Am I doing it all wrong?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Those among us who seek meaning from the depths of a fast,
Hunger for a better world.
And those among us for whom fasting is unhealthy.
Hunger for a better world.
those among us who are inspired to be kinder upon reciting the traditional liturgy,
Thirst for connection and meaning. And those among us for whom these words only amplify discouraging thoughts. Thirst for connection and meaning.
And although the idea of confessing
That I have hurt others in ways that they did not deserve.
And confessing.
that I did not deserve the hurt that others have done to me,
Feels unguarded.
Exposed.
I
I am not alone. I am not unprotected.
because in my openness,
I have stepped into this very sanctuary.
Where I hear the voices saying all around me,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Because we can imagine a world
A year ahead.
full
Of
compassion.
compassion.
We continue now with the melody of Kol Nidre on the cello. We continue now with the President's Torah procession. Please rise as you are able. We are on page 204. We sing together, Or Zaru Ala Tzadik.
For Zarua
Tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha. Or zarua tzadik, u'leYisrael simcha.
Bishiva shel malach, ubishiva shel mata, al dat hamakom ve'al dat hakahal, anu matirin lihipalel im havaryanim. Bishiva shel malach, ubishiva shel mata, al dat hamakom ve'al dat hakahal, anu matirin lihipalel im havaryanim. Bishiva shel malach,
by the authority of the court on high and by the authority of the court below, with divine consent and with the consent of this congregation, we grant permission to pray with those who have transgressed.
Ay, 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 Kol Nidre Vesarei Bacharamei Vekonamei Vechinuyei Vechinusei Shavuos. Ay, 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 Dindarna. Ay, 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 Udishtabana. De'acharimna Vedasarna Al Nafshatana Miyom Kippurim Zeh Ad Yom Kippurim. Ay, 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 ay. Haba aleinu letova. Kulahon icharadna vehon. Kulahon yehon sheran. Shevikin, Shevitin, Betelin umevutalin, Lasharirin, Belakayamin, Nidrana, La Nidre, Ve'asarana La Esarei, Ushuatana La Shavuot. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Kol Nidre Vesarei Bacharamei Vekonamei Vechinuyei Vechinusei Shavuot. Ay, 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 ay. Yom Kippurim zeh ad Yom Kippurim. Ay, 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 ay. Haba aleinu letova. Kulhon icharana vehon. Kulhon yehon sheran. Shevikin. Shevitin. Betelin umevutalin. Lasharirin velakayamin. Nidrana la nidre. Vesarana la sare. Ushuatana la shivuot. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Kol nidre ve'esarei v'charamei ve'konamei ve'chinuyei ve'kinusei Shavuot. Ay, 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 ay. Din darna. Ay, 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 ay. Udi Shabana. De'acharina ve'dasarna al nafshatana miyom kippurim zeh ad yom kippurim. Ay, 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 ay. Haba aleinu letova. Kulhon icharana vehon. Kulhon yehon sheran. Shevikin. Shevitin. Betelin umevutalin. Lasharirin velakayamin. Nidrana la nidre. Ve'asarana la esarei. Ushuatana la shivuot. V'nislach lechol adat b'nei Yisrael. כי לכל העם בשגגה, ונצלח לכל הדת בני ישראל, ולגר הגר בתוכם, כי לכל העם בשגגה, ונצלח לכל הדת בני ישראל, ולגר הגר בתוכם, כי לכל העם בשגגה. סלח נא לעוונם הזה כי גודל חסדך, וכאשר נסעת לעם הזה ממצרים בעד הנה, ושם נאמר, ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך, ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך, ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך. Now we take a moment before we sing together the Shechianu to think about this entire past year and the blessing of being kept alive and sustained in life to reach this moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen.
We remain standing for the Torah recessional.
Yeah. We now invite our current president, Michael Sag, to share some words with us.
Great. Shana Tova, everyone. I get to share with you some of the great news of how things have gone here at Shomrei over the last year and how I'm hopeful that the next year will go. I think that there's so much to share about what we've been doing here since last year. Did you guys, anybody notice that the wallpaper in this room is gone and it's been replaced by a nice coat of fresh paint? Because if not, take a look around. Not only is that changed, but a million other things at this place have changed over the course of the year. Surely you noticed the new bollards out front and the new double fob access doors, providing greater security for our congregation. And perhaps you can hear the results of our investment in the sound system here in the social hall. Who can hear it? Hooray! Or you've noticed the sound of our outdoor activities has improved, or you've been in the sanctuary where a separate sound system has been installed as well. The systems in all three places are totally new. Ehud had our 2 old dishwashers removed from the kitchen and replaced with an efficient new one. A generous donor bought us an ice machine, so we never run out. We fixed roofs, repaired the Park Street doors, fixed the sidewalk, and the concrete exit stairs at the back of the sanctuary. We've added a new full-time hire who shares time between the office and the school. Tal, say hello if you see her. We've reorganized programming, so there's exciting events happening all year round, spaced hopefully a reasonable amount apart from each other. Trying to thoughtfully engage all the demographics that are here at Shomrei. We cleared out the attic, freeing up space for all the other things that are around that we wish to put in the attic. We got the light working up there. I don't know if any of you have seen the giant circular stained glass window at the back of the sanctuary that has now been relit after I don't know how many years, perhaps decades of not working. The kitchen was reorganized and upgraded. After some adjustments, it's better laid out and operates better than, hopefully operates better than it did before. There's a new water flow monitor on our main water line. For those of you who know that we had a flood in the basement this year, we finally took a step to install a monitor that auto shuts off if it detects that pressure has gone too low for too long. And you can track it by Bluetooth on your phone. Make sure that all the functioning parts of the building are happening and successfully. We fixed the roof, patched spots that were causing leaks, added some preventative plans to keep it healthy for many more years. The big improvements that we've made over the course of the year these big improvements aren't everything, but should hopefully give you an idea of how active we've been this past year, making the building better, improving programming, engaging with the congregation about what else we want to achieve and how to get to operational consistency. But wait, there is more. That's just what we've done. There's so much that we want to do. In this new year, you will see a continuation of these upgrades. We're adding new lights and cameras to the outside of the building to make it even more secure. We're investing in a sewer pump to our system that will hopefully eliminate a regular ongoing cost of hiring a plumber in to clear our drains. With support of another generous donor, we are lighting the stained glass windows that you see along this wall so that when you're in the sanctuary, they look beautiful and striking, and we warm up that space a little bit more. We dream of renewing the building's entrance, making it a little more welcoming downstairs. Hopefully we'll get to that this year. This is just the tip of an iceberg. We are trying our hardest to reimagine how we can occupy the space that we're in, make it continually better, catch up on work that should have been happening continuously over the years, but somehow got passed over. Here we are, taking big strides forward to make this, our spiritual home, feel as special to all of you as it can possibly be. As I mentioned in my Rosh Hashanah speech, we are reaching for that even more. It is an exciting time, and if we all embrace abundance that I see just out of reach but coming into focus, we can keep going and make the changes that inspire. make our building into the religious home we're so, so proud of. On the shoulders who have been working for those changes for many, many years, we are all standing. The future of Shomrei is bright. A quick additional note. I said we a lot in this speech, but in reality, I think I had very little to do with the changes that happened here. There's an exceptional staff that drives us forward, and as I've said many times to you, an exceptional core of volunteers that takes these ideas and brings them into reality. And folks who, I hope like the rest of you, over the course of the year have put their own hand up to say, I see something coming into focus. I would like to make a change here too. Here's what I can do. I encourage everybody over the course of the new year to take an opportunity to put your own hand up, see something in the future of the building, of Shomrei as a congregation, and bring it together. There's immense opportunity all across the board. As I said, I alone am not enough. The few of our congregants and valued staff who take these changes forward are enough today, but there is strain. If you want to see changes continue, and if you want to be part of the growth at Shomrei over the next few years, we need you to put that hand up. Tell one of the board you'd like to get more deeply involved. Find a friend, say, together we want to make a new program. There are so many ways to volunteer and get engaged at Shomrei, and we need so much from so many to keep it all coming together. I hope you feel inspired the way I do to make Shomrei great. If you do, all you have to do is let us know. There's lots of places to put someone with energy and hours, and we're ready for it. L'Shana Tova, everyone.
Thank you, Michael. Please rise as you are able. We continue with the Baruch Hu on page 207.
Umavir yom, umevi laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamidim lo chaleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hamari v'aravim. Lavat olam v'tizran.
After the blessing, we'll join together for the Shema. On Yom Kippur, we say not only the line of Shema Yisrael out loud, but also Baruch Shem Kavod, something that was forbidden in synagogues during certain periods of our history, and the generations before us would only dare to say that line out loud on Yom Kippur. And so today we still recite that line only out loud on Yom Kippur.
Ki hem chayenu, v'orech yameinu, u'bahem negei yomam v'layla, v'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
mezuzot beitecha v'yisharecha.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
In a moment, we'll pick up in the middle of page 210 with a line leading into the Mi Chamocha prayer of redemption.
U'malchuto beratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Israel lechanu shira besimcha rabba.
Chamocha, we've liturgically celebrated the crossing of the sea, crossing joyously, gratefully into a new open expanse, recognizing with awe and wonder that we have made it to this moment. And we turn immediately following to 2:11 to Hashkivenu, a prayer that recognizes that though we have achieved a sense of freedom, that we have reached the shores of a new year, the freedom of a new beginning, crossed to a fresh start, we are never fully freed from the need for a loving embrace, for a loving hush. That because we know where we've come from, we know what the world is capable of, still seeking the need to be comforted, to ask that we may continue to sleep and rise in peace night after night, and that we may continue to seek a world embraced by peace and hush. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu.
recite the special blessing for Yom Kippur on page 212.
כי ביום הזה יכפר עליכם, לטהר אתכם מכל חטאותיכם, בפני אדוני תתארו.
In a moment, we'll continue with the Chatzi Kaddish, followed by the silent Amidah on pages 213 through 221.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברי קראתי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולמי עלמיה יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודש בריחו לעילה לעילה, מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחלתה
Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. All of a sudden, I remember one time when I was a little kid, I did something I was not supposed to do. I don't remember what it was specifically, but I do remember it was dangerous. And my father asked which one of us kids had done it. And I lied, and I said I didn't do it. But I think he already knew that I had done it. And he said, whoever did this thing, I just need to know who it was. I'm not going to be angry at them. Just tell me who did it. I promise I won't be angry. And so I admitted that I had done that thing. I don't even remember what it was. And he gave me a hug and he said, just please, please don't ever do it again. And I think that's really what the order of these special high holiday prayers is all about. We have the slichot prayers, the prayers of forgiveness, before the vidui prayers of confession. We are assured that out of love, God will forgive us even before we confess. We turn to this beautiful special prayer, Ya'aleh. On page 223, we'll start with Talia singing it in Hebrew. We can join in as we remember this beautiful melody. And then in the middle, we'll read responsively in the English, and then we'll return to the final paragraph in Hebrew. Ya'aleh tachanunenu me'erev ve'yavo shalatenu miboker ay 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 ve'yeraen rinunenu ad arev ay 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 join us. Ya'aleh kolenu me'erev ve'yavo tzidkatenu miboker ay 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 ve'yeraen pidyonenu ad arev ay 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 Ya'aleh inyoreinu me'erev ve'yavo selichatenu miboker ay 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 ve'yeraen na'akatenu ad arev ay 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 May our supplications rise up at evening, our pleas arrive with the dawn, our songs transform the dusk.
May our voices rise up at evening, our righteous acts arrive with the dawn, our redemption transform the dusk.
May our suffering rise up at evening, our forgiveness arrive with the dawn, our purity transform the dusk.
May our prayers rise up at evening, coming to you with the dawn, transforming us at dusk.
The final verse.
Ya'aleh
en katenu me'erev ve'yavo elecha miboker ay 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 ay
turn to page 225 for the first cycle of the Slichot prayer, Pleas of Mercy. We turn to page 226, towards the bottom of the page, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'chanun, Erech Chapayim, v'rav chesed ve'emet, Noser chesed la'alafim, Noser avon b'fesha, v'chata me'anakeh. Zelach lanu avinu ki chatanu, mechalanu malkeinu ki fashanu, ki ata Adonai tov v'salach, v'rav chesed lechol korecha. We turn now to 227 for the second cycle of Slichot prayers, focusing on human vulnerability.
Hine kach omer biyad hayotzer, birtzoto marchiv, ubirtzoto mekatzer. Kein אנחנו בידך, חסד נוצר לברית הבית, ואל תפן ליצר. כי הנה כאבן ביד המשטט, ברצותו אוחז וברצותו מחטט. כן אנחנו בידך, מחיה וממוטט לברית הבית,
fourth paragraph in the English responsively. As the helm in the hand of the sailor who holds the course or abandons it at will, so are we in your hand, good and forgiving God.
Recall your covenant, do not heed the accuser. Labrit habes ve'al-tefen la'yetzer.
As glass in the hand of the glazier who shapes or melts it at will, so are we in your hand, pardoner of sin and transgression.
Recall your covenant, do not heed the accuser. Labrit habes ve'al-tefen la'yetzer.
As cloth in the hand of the draper who drapes or twists it at will, so are we in your hand, righteous God.
Recall your covenant, do not heed the accuser. Labrit habes ve'al-tefen la'yetzer. Kinei ka'kesef b'yad ha'torev. Birtoto mitzakik uvirtoto mitzarev. Kein anachnu be'adcha mansi lemazor teref. Labrit habet ve'al-tefen la'yetzer. Labrit habet ve'al-tefen la'yetzer.
Page 229, Adonai, Adonai. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Echanun, Erech Chaim, Verav Chesed Be'emet, Noser Chesed La'alavim, Noser Ahod Ba'fesha, Ve'chatam Menachem. Selach lanu Abinu, Ki chatanu, Mechal lanu Malkeinu, Ki fashanu, Ki ata Adonai, Tov v'salach, V'rav chesed lechol porecha. We now turn to page 231 for the third cycle of Slichot prayers, yearning for God. Please read together with me in the English in the middle of the page. Adonai, where shall I find you? High and hidden is your place. And where shall I not find you? The world is full of your glory. I sought your closeness. I called to you with all my heart. And going out to meet you, I found you coming toward me. We're going to hear it one more time, actually, because it's so beautiful. Going to read again for us, Lynn?
Sure.
Thank you.
Adonai, where shall I find you? High and hidden is your place. And where shall I not find you? The world is full of your glory. I sought your closeness. I called to you with all my heart. And going out to meet you, I found you coming toward me.
Kevod Chamalei Olam, Kevod Chamalei Olam, Yana Emtzacha, Kevod Chamalei Olam. We continue in the middle of page 232, Adonai, Adonai. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Bechanun, Erech Apayim, Verav Chesed Be'emet, Malkeinu, Kivashanu, Ki Ata Adonai, Tov v'Salach, V'Rav Chesed L'Chol Korecha. We now all rise as we are able, as the ark is opened on page 233, Shema Kolenu.
Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chus v'rachem aleinu, v'tkabel berachamim u'beratzon, et tefillatenu. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chus v'rachem aleinu, v'kabel berachamim u'beratzon, et tefillatenu. Hashivenu Adonai elecha, v'nashuva. Chadesh Yameinu kekedem. Hashivenu Adonai elecha, v'nashuva. Kadesh Yameinu kekedem. Al tashlichenu milfanecha v'ruach kodshecha, al tikach mimenu. Al tashlichenu milfanecha v'ruach kodshecha, al tikach mimenu. Al tashlichenu le'et zikna, kichlot kochenu, al ta'azvenu. Al tashlichenu le'et zikna, kichlot kochenu, al ta'azvenu.
Please remain standing.
Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Salach lanu, Mechal lanu, Kaper lanu, Ki anu amecha v'ata Eloheinu, anu banecha v'ata Avinu, anu avadecha v'ata Adonenu, anu
Anu kashe Erev v'ata erech apayim. Anu male avon v'ata male rachamim. Anu yaminu ketzel over v'atahu ushnotecha lo yitamu. Top of page 235. Ay, 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 Page 237, we continue the Al-Chet prayer, beginning each section out loud in the Hebrew and then responsively in the English, and then singing the chorus again together in the Hebrew. Al-Chet shechatanu lefanecha be'ones uvratzon, v'al-Chet shechatanu lefanecha be'imutz halev, al-Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'vli dat, we have sinned against you unwillingly and willingly.
And we have sinned against you through hardening our hearts.
We have sinned against you thoughtlessly.
And we have sinned against you in idle chatter.
We have sinned against you through sexual immorality.
And we have sinned against you openly and in private.
We have sinned against you knowingly and deceitfully.
And we have sinned against you by the way we talk.
We have sinned against you by defrauding others.
And we have sinned against you in our innermost thoughts.
We have sinned against you through forbidden trysts.
And we have sinned against you through empty confession.
We have sinned against you by scorning parents and teachers.
And we have sinned against you purposefully and by mistake.
We have sinned against you by resorting to violence.
And we have sinned against you by public desecration of your name.
We have sinned against you through foul speech.
And we have sinned against you through foolish talk.
We have sinned against you through pursuing the impulse to evil.
And we have sinned against you wittingly and unwittingly.
We have sinned against you through denial and deceit.
And we have sinned against you by taking bribes.
We have sinned against you by clever cynicism.
And we have sinned against you by speaking ill of others.
We have sinned against you by the way we do business.
And we have sinned against you in our eating and drinking.
We have sinned against you by greed and oppressive interest.
And we have sinned against you through arrogance.
We have sinned against you in everyday conversation.
And we have sinned against you through conspiratorial glances.
We have sinned against you through condescension.
And we have sinned against you through stubbornness.
Ve'al kulam Elohai chet shechatanu lefanecha b'frikat ol. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'flilut. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'tztiat re'ah. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'sarut ayin.
We have sinned against you by throwing off all restraint.
And we have sinned against you by rashly judging others.
We have sinned against you by plotting against others.
And we have sinned against you through selfishness.
We have sinned against you through superficiality.
And we have sinned against you through stubbornness.
We have sinned against you by rushing to do evil.
And we have sinned against you through gossip.
We have sinned against you through empty promises.
And we have sinned against you through baseless hatred.
We have sinned against you by betraying trust.
And we have sinned against you by succumbing to confusion.
Ve'al kulam Eloah selichot selach lanu nechal lanu kaper lanu.
Please be seated. We turn now to page 240 for the poem Each of Us Has a Name. We'll read together responsibly in the English by paragraph. It's page 240, the bottom paragraph on the left-hand side.
L'chol ish yesh shem. Each of us has a name given by the source of life and given by our parents.
Each of us has a name given by our stature and our smile and given by what we wear.
Each of us has a name given by the mountains and given by our walls.
Each of us has a name given by the stars and given by our neighbors.
Each of us has a name given by our sins and given by our longing.
Each of us has a name given by our enemies and given by our love.
Each of us has a name given by our celebrations and given by our work.
Each of us has a name given by the seasons and given by our blindness.
L'chol ish yesh shem shenatan lo hayam v'natan lo moto. Each of us has a name given by the sea and given by our death.
We turn to page 243. We rise as the ark is opened for Avinu Malkeinu, page 243.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Elanu melech elotam. Avinu Malkeinu, Achazirenu b'tshuva shlema lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, Achazirenu b'shuva shlema lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, shelach refuah shlema lecholei amecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, shalom refuah shlema lecholei amecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, zochrenu b'zikaron tov lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, zochrenu b'zikaron tov lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer chaim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer chaim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer gula v'yeshua.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer gula v'yeshua.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer parnasa v'chalkala.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer parnasa v'chalkala.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer zichuyot.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer zechuyot.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer slicha.
Adi Shalem, page 245.
Yitgadal v'yitgadal Shomrei Rabbi.
Amen.
Bet alama divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei techol beit Yisrael v'gala u'v'zman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam olam me'amaya Yitbarach ve'yishamach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromach ve'yitnaseh ve'yithadar ve'yitzaleh ve'yithalal Shemei de'kudesha Shemei de'kudesha brichu le'ela le'ela mikol birchata ve'shirata tushbechata ve'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imeru amen titkabal tzeloton uva'uton dechol Yisrael kodam avuhon divishmaya ve'imeru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya ve'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen Oseh shalom b'romav u'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru amen.
Please be seated. If you saw our New Year's card, you know that this past summer my family visited Maktesh Ramon, the massive crater in the Negev Desert in Israel, the largest such crater on planet Earth. The view of the Ramon crater from above, from the lookout at Mitzpeh Ramon, is breathtaking and otherworldly. Raise your hand if you've ever seen it. I've had the privilege to see it with my own eyes 3 times in my life. This time, a brand new visitor center explains not only the geology, but also the special connection between the Ramon crater and the first Israeli astronaut, Ilan Ramon. Raised in the desert town of Beersheba, Ilan changed his last name from Wolferman to Ramon in honor of that beloved landscape when he entered the Israeli Air Force as a fighter pilot. At the edge of the crater, we watched video footage of Ilan Ramon entering the Columbia Space Shuttle in his orange jumpsuit with the Israeli flag patch on his shoulder. When Ilan Ramon was training for the Columbia mission at the NASA Space Center in Houston, Texas, he was able to ask his childhood hero, Neil Armstrong, about his feelings during the Apollo mission to the moon. Surprisingly, the first man to walk on the lunar surface did not mention the moon at all. Rather, Armstrong told Ramon, "I remember the picture of the blue and delicate earth as seen from far away." This view of the earth as a whole, only seen from outer space, is known as an earthscape. When Yuri Gagarin, the first human to travel into space, orbited the earth for the first time, he said, "I see the earth. It is so beautiful." He was the first person to experience what space writer Frank White coined the overview effect. This shift in perspective, experienced by astronauts again and again, evokes a sudden sense of the Earth's beauty and vulnerability,
and an increased connection to all people and to the earth as a whole. Against the vast nothingness of space, when Ilan Ramon saw the images of the earth, vivid, gorgeous, and bright, he said, "The whole world looks marvelous from up here, so peaceful, so wonderful, and so fragile." The fragility of our planet under the threat of global warming was felt throughout this summer with the most extreme weather yet. More than 40 million acres of wildfires burned in Canada, doubling the previous record and causing air pollution and eerily darkened skies right here in Montclair. The summer of 2023 saw the Northern Hemisphere's hottest temperatures in recorded history, with the temperature climbing in some parts of China to 126 degrees Fahrenheit. In Maui, the fires burned, fueled by drought and by strong hurricane-induced winds, costing 97 lives. And earlier this month, extreme floods in Libya, made up to 50 times more likely by planet warming, killed 3,958 people. In the next 30 years, experts predict there could be more than 1 billion climate refugees, more than 1 billion people who are forced from their homes because of catastrophic extreme weather conditions. At dinner the other night, my kids were asking how to think about the hurricanes and the floods, the droughts and the fires we witnessed over these last few months. Is this just weather, or is it global warming, they asked. Next thing I knew, we were talking about rising sea levels, and Justice was reassuring our kids by telling them we live far enough from the coastline to be safe. As a parent, as a rabbi, as an earthling, I find myself at a loss for words. What do you say when your mother-in-law greets you on vacations with comments like, "Did you hear that the temperatures off the coast of Florida reached 100? Maybe you're different, but I usually say, "I know," or "That's terrible," and then switch back to whatever mundane, everyday, manageable conversations were happening before. And I might have left these troubling and overwhelming thoughts buried in the back of my mind, if not for a comment my 12-year-old daughter said in an effort to cheer me up. "Don't worry, Mommy," she said. "You're lucky. You'll be dead by the time global warming ruins the planet." "Don't worry, Mommy," she said. "You're lucky. You'll be dead by the time global warming completely ruins the planet." In the book, We Are the Weather, Saving the Planet Begins at Breakfast, author and activist Jonathan Safran Foer makes a distinction between knowing and believing. He argues if we accept a factual reality that we are destroying the planet, but we are unable to believe it, we are no better than those who deny the existence of human-centered climate change. To make this point, Safran Foer tells the story of Jan Karski, a 28-year-old Catholic in the Polish underground who traveled to the United States in 1943 to meet with world leaders and to tell them about the atrocities the Germans were perpetuating in Nazi-occupied Poland. Safran Foer recounts, after surviving as perilous as a journey as could be imagined, Jan Karski arrived in Washington, D.C. in June of 1943. There he met with Supreme Court Justice Felix Frankfurter, one of the great legal minds in American history, and himself a Jew. After hearing Karski's account of the clearing of the Warsaw Ghetto and the exterminations in the concentration camps, after asking him a series of increasingly specific questions, what is the height of the wall that separates the ghetto from the rest of the city? Frankfurter paced the room in silence, then took his seat and said, "Mr. Karski, A man like me, talking to a man like you, must be totally frank. So I must say, I am unable to believe what you told me. When Karski's colleague pleaded with Frankfurter to accept Karski's account, Frankfurter responded, I didn't say that the young man is lying. I said, I am unable to believe him. My mind, my heart, they are made in such a way that I cannot accept it. Justice Frankfurter didn't question the truthfulness of Karski's story. He didn't dispute that the Germans were systematically murdering the Jews of Europe, and he didn't respond that while he was persuaded and horrified, there was nothing he could do. Rather, he admitted not only his inability to believe the truth, but also his awareness of that inability. I am afraid we are like Justice Frankfurter. The problem isn't that we don't believe the truthfulness of the scientific evidence of human-caused climate change. The problem is we have trouble believing the truth. Our hearts, our minds are made in such a way that we struggle to accept it. Is it true? As with the Holocaust, we are unprepared to believe, to feel in our hearts, to respond to a tragedy without precedent in the history of humanity. What will happen if we know, but we don't believe it? And because we don't believe it, we don't act. At the edge of the Ramon crater, we watched video footage of Alain Ramon talking with his wife and 4 children minutes before the Challenger burst into flames, disintegrating upon re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. Somehow, among the wreckage, 37 pages of Ramon's personal journal were recovered, and 2 pages were painstakingly put back together. One of these 2 pages contained the handwritten words of the Kiddush for Shabbat, Vayechulu hashamayim v'ha'aretz v'chol tziva'am. This secular Jewish astronaut had written in his space travel journal, heaven and earth and everything associated with them were completed. On the 7th day, God completed the work God had done. This earth and all it contains is our sacred inheritance. We celebrate its birth on Rosh Hashanah with the words Hayom Harat O Ha'olam, today the world is born, and we face its fragility on Yom Kippur with the words Mi va'esh u'mi va'mayim, who by fire and who by water. We rarely think of this precious gift from the perspective of the earth as a whole. One of my favorite rabbis, my life partner, Rabbi Justice Baird, suggests that the spiritual challenge of our current environmental crisis requires seeing our planet anew through the lens of the overview effect. The climate crisis requires seeing Earth in the images space travelers bring back and in the words they use to describe the awe, the majesty, the beauty of the entire planet as one home for all of humanity. There's an Israeli song called Ein li eretz acheret, which means I have no other country. This song is not so familiar to Americans, but it has been voted again and again as Israel's favorite song, and its title has become a popular catchphrase in Israel, even on bumper stickers. This song was originally written in the midst of the First Lebanon War in June of 1982, during a time of internal division and growing casualties. The song came to symbolize in Israel a determination to recover what feels lost and out of reach. Over the years, this song has become a rallying cry for different segments of Israeli society, from the left and the right, the secular and the religious. It's a song that's played on the radio on national holidays, and a song that was reclaimed recently as an anthem by the current pro-democracy protesters in Israel. And if the word Eretz is translated not simply as land or country, but as earth or world, as the land that we all share as human beings, this song is a rallying cry for the climate crisis. Ein li eretz acheret, gam im admati boeret. Ein li eretz acheret, I have no other world. Even if my earth is aflame, here is my home. I will not be silent. As the earth's face has changed, I will not abandon reminding her and sing right here in her ears until she opens her eyes. This Yom Kippur, I'm asking us to open our eyes, to face the fragility not just of our individual lives, but also the fragility of our planet and the fragility of all the lives of all who call Earth home. Ein lanu eretz acheret. We do not have another planet. Our children and our grandchildren are depending on us not just to know, but to believe. And not just to believe, but to feel urgency and to act. I am sure I am not alone in the feeling that we just don't know what to do about it. The task is enormous. And I have used that excuse many times to close my ears and my eyes and my heart. I also believe climate change experts who tell us that the worst case catastrophe is not inevitable. There are better possible outcomes if we move on them now. If enough people care enough to act, we can still save millions, if not billions, of lives. To my children and to my unborn grandchildren and great-grandchildren, I say, Lo eshtok, I will not be silent. In the words of the Israeli song, Ein li eretz acheret, as the earth's face has changed, I will not abandon this planet we call home. I will sing right here in my ears, in your ears, in our ears, until we open our eyes. I ask that we find a way, collectively as a Shomrei committee, to keep our hearts open to the crisis facing our planet. One way to begin is by starting a Dayenu circle in our community, joining with over 100 synagogues around the country in a Jewish call for climate action. And I am open to any and all other suggestions. Because as Jews, we know the worst and most dangerous thing is indifference. In the words of Cristina Figueres, a leader in the 2015 Paris climate negotiations, this decade is a moment of choice unlike any we have ever lived. All of us alive right now share the responsibility and the opportunity. I can hear Ilan Ramon whispering in our ears these words that he shared from the Challenger. We pray in our hearts that all of humanity will imagine the world as we see it, without boundaries. This magnificent earth is our home. Ein lanu eretz acheret. We have no other planet to pass on to the coming generations. Gemar Chatima Tova. May we be sealed for good in the book of life. It's time now for concluding prayers. We rise for Aleinu, page 246.
Aleinu, because it is upon us to take action. Good timing. Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol, lateit gedula l'yoser reshit, shelo asanu kigdei ha'aratzot, velo asamanu mishpat ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, velo raleinu kechol hamona, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'olim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Kachatuv b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam v'ha'ed. V'ne'emar b'haya Adonai, v'melech al kol ha'aretz. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad. Ushemo echad.
Please be seated. We continue in a moment with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 247. Mourners and those observing a yahrzeit, please rise for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitzkadal, Yitzkadash, Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Be'alma divra kirtei, be'amlich machutei. B'chayachon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei zechol Beit Yisrael. B'galau izman kariv imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'le'al maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'halal shemei lekudesha b'rechu. Le'ela le'ela mikol berchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlam Rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. Please be seated. We now invite our President, Michael Seg, to share a few announcements.
Hi again, everyone. Keep them quick. Tomorrow at 9:30, get started with Shacharit, followed by our Yom Kippur Torah service at 10 a.m., Mincha at 5 p.m., followed by Ne'ilah at 6:30. As I mentioned last week, Shomrei wants to host everybody to break their fast at 7:30 after the service. There will be catered food, drinks, desserts, and more. Please plan to come and end your fast with fellow Shomrei congregants in the Yak. On Tuesday, join Shomrei and our friends at B'nai Keshet for a discussion on the pro-democracy protest in Israel. B'nai Keshet is hosting. Don't come here, go there. With light refreshments at 6:30 and a discussion at 7. On Friday, the 29th, we're all invited to join congregants Sarita Eisenberg and Lou Hammerman in their home, Sukkah, for a special taste of Shabbat. The service at 6:30 will be led by Sarita and Lily Lucy. Dinner will be at 7:15. For our families, the next Tinei Matov and Tat Shabbat will both be on Saturday the 30th. I hope I'll get a chance to see you there. And the final thing I want to say is what I always say in my final moment, which is, if there are any of you folks who are new here, you want to learn a little bit more about us and what we do, please reach out to our membership team. I don't know if our membership committee is here in the room. I see Adrian over there, and I see Sarah Ann over there. Find one of us, ask a question. We're happy to discuss what we do here, how we operate, our due structure or not due structure, and anything else that comes to mind. I promise you this, which is that it is a great place to be, and I hope you'll come around. L'shana tova, everyone. Have an easy fast.
We conclude our service with the words of Achat Sha'alti, which are found on the white card in the back of your Machzor. Please join together with us. Achat Sha'alti Med Adonai Ota Avakesh Shifti B'Beit Adonai Kol Yemei Chayai. Only one thing I ask of thee, God. Only one thing that I seek, to dwell with thee in your light, God, all the days of my life. Achat Sha'alti Med Adonai Ota Avakesh Shifti B'Beit Adonai Kol Yemei Chayai. Gemar Chatima Tova, everyone.
Gemar Chatima Tova.
One hurricane's on that. Levin said, yeah, I think everybody's great. Thank you. We just had a 2-year-old birthday on Sunday. We have another 8-year-old birthday coming up on Thursday. Right now, actually, Martin and Fiona are voicing us because they're renovating their house. So they have no kitchen, they have nothing. So they do nothing. Here, say hello. Yeah, who's on the board? I thought that was you all stuck in. No. Hi, Harold. You had a part to play. Everybody was running out here, so we didn't see what. They didn't mean all duration, past duration. Jimmy Carter. It's down there. It's down there because this side was Sarah Ann Erickson and William Haynes. It's down here. It's down that area. Alan probably. Ray was before time. Give you microfiche to walk around in a thumb drive or something like that. Okay, thumb drive. How about a thumb drive? Flash drive. In the cloud. How about in the cloud? Torah in the cloud. Oh, this one, by the way, all kinds of young David was Yes, exactly. Well, from 1290. You tried that one. Yeah, and then. No, but he carefully said. Yeah, yeah. That is the. Is Rob in your York City rotation? Yes, he is. You should never worry about that. Your friendship is great.
Let me go check, because I want to let you guys know. Well, no, they may be able to tell, but they.
Michael. Shut up. Fine, thank you. Have things in the new digs down the courthouse, right? Are you in Milford? So who's training for the pickup?
I'm currently in Dutch Trump Barry. Yeah, just the office I'm sitting in. I just started being a judge, so he's
Mr. Judge. It's a new gig. It's a new gig.
At the moment, yeah. I'm going to switch over to just something
The original old courthouse, which is the courthouse building. The new courthouse is across the street. So where do they have you parked?
And there's
Lynn and I are going to Paris October 2nd. Well, we celebrate our 70th birthday. So, not an anniversary. We'll be our 50th anniversary next year. We were married. We were kids. We're still on our starter marriage. When we come back, we're supposed to meet up for hobbies. Okay. Hobbies is a bad idea. So fun something. You can't.
graduation is good.
So something else. Oh, the same as the restaurant. It's all same as the restaurant. Let's do that. All right, we'll figure it out. Figure out a place.
Yeah, I mean, I come over to you guys something. But so far, giving you a job in the media. And we've been in process for a long time. How long was it? In real process, probably about a year. Yeah, I was. I mean, when I.
Do you want to come or do you?
Yeah,
you know,
did you
look
by
at-
chance bring my rain jacket?
Said back to me, you do know there are no vacancies. Yeah, that's a long process. Just application. It took a long I apply to the street.
Yeah, but now there's been a tremendous change. We were down 6 judges when you passed forever until Biden was elected.
Yeah, because Senator Menendez didn't support any of the Trump years. He was only senators in the country.
He wasn't going to do anything.
Well, not when they want to. So, anyway, it's great. But so after Paris,
After Paris,
give me a shot.
I'll give you a shot. When do you take your lunch recess to?
My lunch recess, I mean,
It's up
for
to you.
you, I will. Lunch recess, I'm
Oh, okay, all right.
How big are your chambers?
The old courthouse,
They're vast.
They're vast. In the old courthouse, they're huge.
The reason, very good friends with Ann Thompson, who was the designing judge for a long time in her chambers. Oh my God, there's a kitchen for them and a kitchen for them and a kitchen for them.
It's strange.
Well, in the old post office and courthouse building, I remember the story correctly. There was a judge who spent his own money to put in a fireplace. I think it was Judge McLaughlin, I think it was McCarter Park. And then World War II came along, he resigned his position, thinking he was going to get it back after the war, which he did not. I don't think. So there's one of the courtrooms, I forgot, or one of the chambers
Judge Chesler has it.
has a fireplace in it
To
actually.
tell you the truth, I have
Yeah.
a fireplace.
Do you have a fireplace?
I have a fireplace.
Then
And I'm
there's-
moving on from the fireplace.
Yeah, but
I'm
not, so
moving
more
on.
than one put in a
Do you
fireplace.
have a nice ledge above the fireplace where you can display
Yeah,
everything?
it's an incredible place to live.
They treat you well.
Yeah, it's a very physically beautiful. The courtrooms are beautiful. It's a great place to live.
So did you choose your clerks or how did that work?
Yeah. Okay, should I go out?
As
See
soon
you
as I
guys
see
tomorrow.
you.
You wanna walk out together?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna walk out. Let me just grab my yeah, I picked him, just after I got,
What do you have, three?
I have 3 clerks here, and a court student, so just after I got the third. Estos libros que están ahí, dejarlos ahí. Eso.